the Bucs lost 23-31 to the Lions, a game that was probably a little closer than it should have been, but the Bucs definitely made it interesting and competitive. Mike Evans had an absolutely
Monster of a
monster
game.
game. But I have a question for you because the Bucs, they look good. They felt like they kind of overachieved in the regular season and in the playoffs. Baker Mayfield, I believe, signed just a 1-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Is Baker Mayfield the future at quarterback for the Bucs?
Bro, I was going to ask you the exact same question.
He had his best season.
He did. I mean, going into this year, Baker Mayfield was on a prove it or lose it kind of contract, right? 1 year, $4 million base with some incentives in there. And I have no idea if he's done enough this season for Tampa Bay to consider signing him onto a long-term deal. On one hand, he's probably, a mid-level quarterback, in that 20 to 15 range, maybe slightly higher if you want to put him there in terms of what he can bring, his talent, the ceiling you have as a team if he's your quarterback. On the other hand, who are you going to really go after if you're Tampa Bay? Right? They're not going to have a high enough pick to really make any noise in the draft. And out of all the other quarterbacks that are out there available, I'd rather have somebody that's at least played with my team before, So I really do see them signing him this offseason. I don't know for how long. I don't think it's going to be a 4 or 5 year deal. It's probably going to be another 2-3 year deal with a team option. If it's anything longer than 3 years, there's going to be some type of stipulation, which kind of sucks because the team that's looking really stupid right now is Cleveland.
Oh yeah,
but Baker Mayfield, man, shout out to him. He proved a lot of people wrong this year, and you just love to see it because he was super easy to root against. At least the media presented that way in Cleveland. The whole Odell situation, and it's all Baker's fault because he can't pass me the ball. Well, Mike Evans ain't whining about it.
Mike Evans had a fantastic season and a great game today.
Honestly, if I'm Tampa Bay, I'd at least sign him on for another couple of years, and try to build a better defensive unit and a better run game because they had no run game that existed at all this year, really. So there's plenty of holes elsewhere on the roster that they should focus on before getting rid of Baker.
Absolutely. So I have a similar opinion and take to you. In the short term, yes, Baker Mayfield is the short-term future for the Bucs quarterback. Like you said, like in free agency, maybe if they had cap space, they could take a run at Kirk Cousins, but I don't really know if there's anyone else who would be actually better than Baker Mayfield. And like you said, it's not like they have a top pick, but they have the thing to do that we talked about last week with the Packers, what the Packers have done over their franchise history to do now in Tampa Bay. They have the chance to look for QB prospects, look at who they like as maybe a long-term future, even if they're not ready to play today, because you have someone who's ready to play today in Baker Mayfield, and you have a chance to maybe trade up for them if they followed you in the draft them, and let that QB sit for 2 years, maybe 3 years, right? And until whenever you think he's ready and he can be behind Baker Mayfield, who's a competent quarterback, can help make your team get to the playoffs. Obviously, he proved he can win a playoff game. He didn't play bad in these playoffs. I mean, he played better than I thought he could, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
If not for some of the turnovers, I mean, he would have had a fantastic playoffs. And like you said, so this team does need to upgrade the Bucs more around their team. Their running game, I think, should be priority A this offseason. White's a decent running back, so whether you just need to get another running back in the room, a better offensive line, because I know Baker got sacked a lot this year as well. Gotta upgrade that for sure. And they also need to upgrade their pass defense. I think that was a big thing today is their pass depth really got exposed. One of their corners went out of the game, and the third string corner was just getting shots taken at him, and he just could not stop anyone. So definitely got to fix that pass defense and that run game. I just don't know what the ceiling is with Baker as the QB is the biggest thing. But you're a good, competent playoff team right now. There are holes you can still upgrade. And I'm looking to draft a QB for my future who can sit for a year or two behind Baker, until he can come up and hopefully have a higher ceiling than Mayfield.
Well, no, you hit it right on the head, man. If you can, if the right player falls to you or even gets close enough to where you can trade up for him, do it. Have him sit for a couple years, and hopefully Baker Mayfield can be your Alex Smith, right? That's the best case scenario for Tampa Bay.
It's true.
But again, there are tons of other areas in which Tampa Bay should look first before considering a quarterback change.